What's up guys, KJ from Rock'n'Ride Network here. Today I have a very controversial topic for you all to start off the week. I know I said that last Tuesday too, but this week I really mean it. I want to preface this by saying that everybody watches and reads Dragon Ball in different ways, and that rule still applies with analysis of the series. Every method of enjoying and analyzing the series is equally respectable, and these methods simply pertain to the schools of thought about Dragon Ball. One of these schools of thought pertain to analyzing the story of Dragon Ball through a more mathematical approach through power scaling, which while it's a method that I respect and admire, it's a method that I personally disagree with. This video is not to degrade from this method of analysis or to tell people who feel this way to stop thinking in this style. This video is simply detailing what, in my opinion, is the inherent problem with power scaling. So let's get into it. My first point towards my grievances with power scaling actually fall upon a constructive definition. Power scaling relates to, on a literal level, power levels. A power level refers to a numerical value that relates to a person's strength and speed. However, the issue with that is that it cannot track inherent strength, or strength that can be subdued within the body to be exposed later on. So power levels are incredibly literal and explicit, and they don't allow for much further implied power in the user's analysis of another's power. Based off of this, the most literal definition of scale that refers to this subject matter is one that states that a scale correlates to a rule determining the distances between marks on a scale. These marks, I feel, refer to these characters. Scaling a character to Goku, for example, makes Goku essentially a mark on the center of a given linear graph, with other characters being ranked around it. Now, I am very aware that power scaling doesn't only refer to numbers, and can simply refer to things shown in the series, but there are still certain issues that I have with it on the numerical side that I'd like to address. If a base power level is, let's say, a 3, and let's say Super Saiyan counts as a 5 times multiplier for the sake of the example, then your power level comes out to 15. However, if your base power is 2, then it's 10 by the same multiplication rule. See, a problem arises here. There are certain things that you can't put a numerical value or multiplier on, such as raw emotions. Nobody can sit here and tell me that Goku's anger gives him a 60 times multiplier because emotions can't be quantified. Going back to, say, episode 100, people said that the power scaling was screwed up when in all reality, in my personal opinion, it was not. People were scaling Kale based off a predisposed bias towards Broly, forgetting that despite what you may think, Kale and Broly are factually not the same characters. Berserker Mode and Legendary Super Saiyan are different transformations with different traits despite being incredibly similar in appearance. Berserker Mode is a level fueled by raw anger and destructiveness which, as I mentioned before, can't have a numerical value or multiplier on it. Going off of that, there are several places in the manga and in the anime where one can tell that the idea of power levels became way too hectic, and Toriyama got rid of them through what I would call brilliant execution. There are several instances in the manga that, mostly involving Vegeta, state something along the lines of Saiyans can't be reduced to numbers. This line means a lot more than people think. Saiyans and martial artists in the Dragon Ball universe in general are supposed to be an unpredictably powerful race. Their power can raise exponentially at a moment's notice, and no reading on a scouter can really dictate how far they should be able to go. Their power, no matter how you feel about it, can be suppressed all the way down to 0 if need be. Even the humans can do it. We don't have the narrator in Dragon Ball Super telling us that, in this scene, Goku is currently using 27.68% of his power in his Super Saiyan Blue form, because that's not the point. That's not the focus. Plus, if they did, it would render my entire discussion moot and I would stop talking. Future me that's editing this decided to add this in at the last minute. I know a lot of people are going to say that these characters state when they're going full power and stuff like that, but I want to just say really quickly, that doesn't matter to me, because the thing is, a character's not really going full power unless they're trying to kill someone. And that's just an actual fact that it just seems, sort of common sense in it. That you're not going full strength unless you're actually trying to kill your opponent. So, when people comment below that, Goku said in this scene that he's going full power, I don't trust that. Because you're only going full power if you actually have a drive to end someone's life. And that sounds awful, but I just wanted to add that in really quickly, that you're not going full strength unless you have an actual bloodlust in you to just destroy your opponent. So yeah, let's just keep this going with present me. However, if power can be put to an algorithm, there are certain values that you need in order to make it believable. And to be honest, some of these calculations that I see on Twitter and so forth just seem ludicrous, nonsensical, and just ridiculous. Where did someone hear the Super Saiyan Blue is a 500 times multiplier? What guidebook? What anime episode? What manga panel? The Dragon Ball anime doesn't give us direct stances on how much power is being used in certain instances, what emotions are at play, because Dragon Ball is a manga with characters that are fueled by emotional outbursts of power, which again cannot be quantified because that's not meant to matter. In addition, math is a straightforward subject. It's not based on conjectural algorithms, it's based upon factual information used to solve a further problem, in my opinion. Now, I can already see people saying, it doesn't have to do always with numbers, some of it legit just has to do with common sense and what characters can and can't do. And I have to say that I adamantly disagree with you. Androids, for example, have infinite energy. They may not be super strong, but they literally never grow tired. Martial artists have a natural aptitude at hand-to-hand combat. Characters that we've never seen before, like Caulifla, Kaba, and Kale, can't be put on a non-existent scale because, again, we've never seen them before. We don't know how the Universe 6 Saiyans evolved. We don't know what their story is. It's a different universe. My point in this whole tangent is just to say never underestimate or overestimate Dragon Ball characters and transformations. Dragon Ball moved to be a series that preached that a sound strategy or firm aptitude in general combat can make up for a large gap in power, or enough anger can do so as well. And while that may not make sense to you, does it really make sense anyway that a monkey child in the forest eventually became a makeshift deity with blue hair? Dragon Ball is not based upon inconsistencies, it's not a series riddled with plot holes or bad writing. Toriyama made it clear that we should stop thinking about it in that light. Toriyama makes it very clear that his stories have more meaning than what can be quantified and pinned on simple numerical scales. My point is, power scaling is not a bad way of looking at Dragon Ball. I just find it severely outdated and not fit into the current meta of Dragon Ball that we're in right now. But that's just my opinion on it. Comment below your thoughts on this topic, and I sincerely ask you to do so with an open mind and not a predisposed one. All I've done is given the evidence for my opinionated claim. Please do drop a like, share this video with everyone that you know and people who you don't know but just want to harass with my videos, in which case thank you, and please subscribe to the channel if you're new. I love you all so much and hope you all have an amazing day. Don't let anyone change who you are, and God bless. Peace out, guys.